Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal, just in case you're new here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys some of the books that I DNF'd this year in 2019. Also a little glimpse into my 2020 reading plans. So, it's a little bit of a secret, but there are some books here that I didn't really talk about, but I did start them and I never finished them. This is the pile of my DNFs this year, and I want to show you guys what I was trying to read but never really got to it or finished it for no particular reason. These are books that I didn't hate. It's just books that I put down and then just never revisited. So in no particular order, here we go. First book that I DNF'd and would love to get back to is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I think I was trying to read this during a reading slump or something. Something was going on in my brain and I was just not into it. But so many people that have the same reading taste as me really love this book. It's a murder mystery. It's a cozy murder mystery. And I'm looking forward to getting back into this. I believe the main character jumps from body to body until he could figure out who murdered Evelyn Hardcastle. It's pretty interesting. It kind of reminds me of like an escape room type thing and like a total like Agatha Christie mystery. Totally reminds me of that, and I was enjoying it. I just put it down and just never finished it. The next book, well, series I'd like to get back to is The Last Wish by I can't say his name, sorry. But I was enjoying the stories in here. I just put it down for whatever reason. And I know that The Witcher, the TV series, is coming out on Netflix at the end of December, which is soon. And I really would have loved to get to this before then. But I didn't. I tried. I started reading a couple stories and then I put it down and read something else for whatever reason. So here we are. I'm going to be revisiting this whole series this coming year in 2020. Hopefully I get most of it done, but I really want to read a lot more fantasy books and fantasy series in the coming year. Next, I have this huge book, Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. I was really enjoying this, and for whatever reason I put it down. I think it was around Halloween. I was reading just so many books at the time, and the publisher sent me this finished beautiful copy of the book and I just never finished it. But it is over 750 pages. It is a chunker. It's a big book, but I heard unbelievable things about it and I just need to go back into it. So this is another book that I need to revisit. Not before the end of the year because we're at the end of the year, but in 2020 I'm going to finish reading this book. Next I have here Three Dark Crowns, and this is by Kendra Blake. I started reading this, obviously I'm leaving the bookmarks and the things that I started too. I just never re-picked it back up and I don't really know if I was enjoying this. I think I was, but I might actually have to start from the beginning for this book because I don't really remember much that happened. I know it's three sisters and they're all like preparing for this trial of the death, basically, I guess. But I guess I'll just have to start over. The next is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I started this so many times. I had started this years ago. I started it maybe a year ago and I started it this year, and I have it on audiobook as well. I think I tried listening to it at the gym. I don't recommend the audiobook for this because you just will get completely lost. But The Secret History, it's a modern day classic. It is about secret societies in a college setting in New England. I need to get back to this, especially since Ninth House, and I have such a hangover from that. I need to read this like ASAP. Next is another book that I was absolutely enjoying, and I just don't know why I stopped reading it. And that was Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield. I was really loving this story and the stories inside this story, and I put it down for whatever reason. I heard great things about this book. Everybody that I know that read it loved it. Why can't I finish it? Why can't I finish it? So this is another book that I must revisit as soon as possible. This is a historical fiction, murder mystery, weird book, and I really enjoyed it from what I read. So definitely excited to get back into this story. Then next I have here The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. I did start this series, I want to say last month. Purchased the paperback, and then I saw on Book Depository they had these really cool like collectible books, so I picked one up. I was enjoying this, and it's kind of reminding me of like Six of Crows a bit, a little bit more mature than Six of Crows, and a little bit of The Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss. A little combination of both of those the story was reminding me of, and it was funny and I was enjoying it. I just put it down for whatever reason. So my plan is to revisit this series, the Gentleman Bastard series. I just heard amazing things about it, and I can't wait to revisit it. So this is on my list as well. So next I have here The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. Yes, I put it at Barnes & Noble in case you couldn't tell with these stupid stickers on the cover, but I really love The Handmaid's Tale. It's one of my favorite TV shows, and it's an amazing story. It's an interesting story. It's a dark story, and I started reading this, but I just wasn't ready for it yet. So I'm going to most definitely be reading this in 2020. I feel like this winter is going to be a quite long winter, so I think a lot of reading is going to get done, and I have just so many big books I have to finish. So this is definitely high up on the list of things to read. And Margaret Atwood is just a very interesting storyteller. I don't know if you've ever read anything by her, but her stories are very dystopian-like and really, really intriguing. Her characters are very well thought out. Highly recommend reading anything from her, really. Her writing is excellent. So I can't wait to get into this story and find out what happened to Offred 10 years later. Next I have An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I've been dying to get to this book. I mean, I am a huge John Green fan. I love watching the Vlogbrothers, and Hank Green is hilarious, and I've been dying to read this, and I just haven't yet. I haven't picked it up. I had it hidden in like one of my bins in my room, and I just think I need to like leave it out on the shelf so I pick it up next time. But this is high up on my list of things to read as well, and I believe another novel that he wrote is coming out in 2020. Another book that I started and never finished this year, and that is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Yes, this is very daunting looking, but the story is really great. I put this down because I just had so many other things to read at the moment, and I just put it down, and I just felt like I wasn't ready for it. So I will be picking this back up hopefully sometime in 2020, because like I said, I want to read more fantasy. I want to get more into these other worlds and expand my reading a whole lot. So Brandon Sanderson's books will do that for you. So I'm looking forward to getting back into this world, because this is a really great story so far from what I remember. DNFing books is hard because you feel so guilty, and there's really no reason. I mean, there are times where I have reasons why I DNF a book and I hated it, I didn't like it, and I won't revisit it. But there are times where you start a book and then maybe like an anticipated book comes out and you put that other book down and read something else for the time being, and then you just kind of forget about it. So I'm taking full responsibility for this, and I'm going to put myself on a book buying ban, and I'm not going to buy many new books unless they're gifted to me. And I want to just read the books in my collection, because a lot of these books on my shelf I haven't read yet, and I would hate to have to get rid of them just to make room for new books. So I'm going to start using the library a lot more and all of that. Another book that I DNF'd and I would love to revisit is The Book of Speculation, and this is by Erica Swyler. This was kind of like a fairy tale-esque story, and I was really enjoying this. I believe a man is mailed like a fairy tale book, and it's like the story of his family. It's really interesting, and he's just trying to like figure out the story. Really was enjoying this. I don't know why I stopped reading it. And it has my favorite kind of pages with deckled edges. You can see. I love those pages. But yeah, I was really enjoying this and I put it down for whatever reason. So I'm looking forward to getting back into this story. And I think it was about mermaids. Mermaids were a big thing in here. Finally, I have this big book, The Fireman by Joe Hill. I never finished this book and I hate to say that I never finished it. Because how could you call yourself a Joe Hill fan if you never read The Fireman? But I started reading it, I just put it down, and no particular reason. I wasn't not liking the book. I just put it down to read something else. And then it was forgotten in forgotten book land in my brain. So definitely looking forward to getting back into this book. And I've gone pretty far, so this might be the first book that I do pick up to finish. But I will let you guys know in 2020 which books I finish and which books I don't. The Fireman is, I want to say it's like Joe Hill's version of The Stand. It's basically, you know, the end of the world, this disease breaks out, and people are basically, if they get agitated enough, they set themselves on fire and can destroy anything in their path. They get something called dragon scale on their skin. It's almost like a tribal tattoo, and it pretty much starts to just grow all over your whole body, and that's what causes you to burst into flames. Really cool concept, but like I said, it's kind of Joe Hill's version of The Stand. Really cool characters as well. I really like it. It's definitely super far-fetched, but really great story. So that's pretty much it for all of my DNF books of 2019, and hopefully I get back into them. I have the plan to do that, and I'm gonna hold you guys to that. For me, you're responsible for making sure that I read these books. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And like, my reading plans for 2020 are pretty simple. I just want to read the books that I have now that are in my collection. I have so many unread books in my collection that I've been wanting to get to, but a new book always comes out. But from learning experience, especially from this year, a lot of anticipated releases for me were not living up to the hype, and I put a lot of my existing excellent literature books that I own on the back burner because of new releases, and the new releases this year really were a very big disappointment. So yeah. Also, I am not going to be doing advanced reader copies anymore. It just started to become really overwhelming reading ARCs, and I wasn't enjoying it, and I don't have much free time to read. So in my free time, I was reading, you know, uncorrected copies of books and not enjoying it when I could read, you know, something like this. And I felt so much pressure because I had so many ARCs this year that came in, and I just felt so much pressure to get that done that I just wasn't enjoying reading anymore. I was more so looking at it as a job, not a hobby anymore. And I was just like, who am I becoming? I'm like this person who's literally constantly reading on my phone, on my Kindle, physically. Like, it was just constant, and I just needed some time for me. And I love reading. It's just, the ARCs just got out of control this year. So I'm stopping that, NetGalley, all of that. They were all disappointing reads. They were all 3-star and below reads. And I just felt like I wasted time because there's so many amazing unread books that I own that I didn't get to. So that's my plan for 2020, is read my book collection and stop adding more to the collection. I also want to take more time to read quality over quantity. I know we'll have to cram in so many books a month so we have some good reviews up for people, but I don't want to do that. I want to really enjoy what I'm reading. So if I come on here with my wrap up and I only read one book, I only read one book that month. I'm not a superhero. Like, my eyes can only read so much. God bless all those booktubers that can read stacks of books, you know, this big, 17 books, whatever the case is, a month. I don't know how you do it. And also working on the Constantly Reading Book Club. I love that. That is a passion project of mine, and I'm so excited with my new co-host for that project. So we're going to be bringing some new things for you guys. on the Constantly Reading Book Club, which will be curated through Twitter and Goodreads, and also through Carol Marie and my channel. We might do a live show at the end of each reading period just to wrap things up. We do use the Goodreads page as a good way of a meeting spot for everybody, and just to keep track of how many members are in the group. We have the Twitter where you can just kind of talk to us all day long if you want. But Goodreads is kind of hard for some people to navigate. So that's why I did create the Twitter page as well. And then we have obviously Booktube, which we'll do wrap-ups at the end of the month for. Some news for my channel. I won't be doing TBRs anymore. I feel like they're kind of pointless. I want to do a lot more mood reading this year and not have like a strict TBR of what I have to read for that month, and kind of feel tied down to that. And if I'm not in the mood to read it, then it becomes like a job, and you don't want to do that. So definitely moving forward, I am going to do a lot more mood reading, and I think I'm going to have a better reading year because of that, and especially eliminating ARCs as well. ARCs are a really great thing for us book reviewers to have, and it's so generous and nice of the publishers and of the authors to give us their books before they're even printed to read and review for them and give them some feedback. But it just becomes really overwhelming, and for me, I just couldn't juggle it. I have a real job, 40-hour-a-week job, and adding that to my plate was just too much, along with Booktube and other things that I have. I have my MoonLitBookShop that I will do periodically when I have things to put up, because it's a hobby and it's not something that I'm going to just constantly be doing. You know, it's just something when I have things I want to share with you, I'll put up there. So in 2020, basically, I'm going to have a very chill reading year, and a lot of mood reading is going to be happening, and a lot of revisiting books that I started and did not finish is going to happen as well. If there are any new releases or future releases that you are looking forward to, please let me know in the comments down below, because I'm kind of out of the loop. I don't know what's coming out next year at all that people are excited about. I have Stephen King's new short story collection that I'm excited about, but I never really read the Mr. Mercedes series, so I don't even know if it like counts for me. But overall, I don't really know what else is coming out next year. I've heard mixed things about Rin Chupeco's new book, Wicked As You Wish, which I was looking forward to, but now that I heard some feedback already, I'm not. YA is out of the question for me. I'm not really going to be going crazy for YA books next year. I want to read more adult fantasy. I want to read more horror. I want to read more adult literature, historical fiction. I want to broaden my horizons of reading in 2020. So that is the plan. Also, videos from me are going to be periodically put up. I'm not going to tie myself down to YouTube because it was stressful last year having to try to keep up with everybody. I have friends that put up videos every other day, and I just don't know how they do it between editing and filming and setting up and all that stuff, and reading as well, reading the actual books. If you film, you're not reading, and it just takes so much time. So I will put up videos when I have the chance to, but I'm still here in this community, and you can always DM me on Instagram. I always post out on Instagram. I am slightly active on Twitter. I'm just not a Twitter person, but I'm there. I'm scrolling. I'm seeing everybody's stuff. I'm just not talking much, but I am an introvert, so I don't really say much in general, except on these videos. So yeah, so on that note, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope your holidays are amazing and warm and well, and I wish you guys all the best for 2020. We are on to a new decade, and it's time to turn the page into a new perspective on a lot of things, and it's time to be positive, and it's time to change the world, and I think we all could do that. So with a smile and a happy mind, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. Bye.